Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone 13 Pro Max just came out, so let's go ahead and compare it against the iPhone XS Max and see which one you should pick up or even if you should go and upgrade. Now, if you want to buy either one of these phones, links will be down in the description for the cheapest prices I find on Amazon. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see visually they look almost like the same thing. There really isn't even that big of a difference, and if I kind of move them around, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell which one is which. Now the notches are a little bit different. You can tell the iPhone 12 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max actually, has a much smaller notch than the iPhone XS Max, but it really isn't that big of a deal. It brings no functionality difference at all, so I don't even know why they did that, to be honest. Now you can definitely see that the 13 Pro Max is a little bit bigger, just a little bit taller of a display, a little bit bigger of a display, but it is a much bigger phone. Like it definitely feels much bigger and much heavier. Now, if I flip the phones over to their side, you can see a little bit of a difference. So the XS Max curved side, the iPhone 13 Pro Max flat side, the 13 Pro Max feels thicker and heavier, which it is, but that comes with a good thing with a bigger battery. The XS Max actually had a pretty small battery when it came out. The iPhone 13 Pro Max has the biggest size battery out of any iPhone, so that is a massive advantage that we now have. Now on the back, the XS Max, I do have a skin on it, but it typically has that standard glass back. The 13 Pro Max has that solid frosted glass back, and this one feels much more premium. This is a proper back on a phone. I love it so much. I wish all their iPhones have it, and the 13 Pro Max has it, which is so good. Now we also have their camera setups. These triple camera setup on the 13 Pro Max, which is crazy with the LiDAR sensor. The XS Max has that dual camera setup, still good, but definitely the 13 Pro Max with those ginormous sensors are going to be giving you much better images. Side buttons right there, and that's really pretty much it. IP certification, all that stuff, the whole 9 yards, pretty much the same thing, but definitely you're getting a much more premium and better feeling phone on the outside on the 13 Pro Max. But on top of that, the display actually gives you a 120 Hz Pro Motion display on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. This is a massive difference. You won't be able to tell over the camera, but it's definitely a much smoother experience. I think it's kind of stuck at 90 Hz, but I still think it's really good. So definitely when it comes down to both of these, the display is much better on the 13 Pro Max, and that may be one of the main reasons why you go and upgrade to this specific phone. Now, the future ability of both of these phones and the longevity, you're pretty much going to be getting somewhat of the same setup for the time being, but definitely a couple years from now, there's going to be a time the XS Max is completely outdated with software, and the 13 Pro Max is still going to be around. I would say there's probably going to be at least an additional 2 more years on the iPhone 13 Pro Max in terms of software than the iPhone XS Max. Is that a big deal? I mean, not really right now, but there's going to be a time where you're going to want to pick up a 13 Pro Max over the XS Max, whether in the brand new market or the used market. So that pretty much covers it up in terms of software and hardware on the outside. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both of these phones. Now the iPhone XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 13 Pro Max has that Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, there we go. The iPhone XS Max is on the left. The iPhone 13 Pro Max is on the right. Let's get into phone calls. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same exact thing. Music, which I don't even have here. Let's go in their app stores. 3, 2, 1. And the 13 Pro Max definitely faster. XS Max, I guess we have to go through all these ads and we finally get into it. Now that's not everyday thing. It's probably a little bit different now. Loading into here, definitely a little bit faster on the iPhone XS Max or on the 13 Pro Max for sure. Clicking on an app, pretty much the same thing. Let's go and hop out of here. Let's get into their settings. 3, 2, 1. And even on a small app like that, I think you did see a pretty big difference. I mean, maybe the 13 Pro Max was a little bit faster there too. Let's do mail. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro Max is definitely faster. Clock. 3, 2. I don't know why it opened up here. That's very weird. Let's go ahead and do camera. 3, 2, 1. And pretty much the same thing. Photos. 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing too. Let's go and hop out of here. Now let's get into some of these third-party apps that I have on both of these phones. So let's go ahead and get into something like Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. I'm surprised I still do this app. 13 Pro Max is faster there. Netflix. 3, 2, 1. And I think the 13 Pro Max again was the faster one. Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And you can see the iPhone 13 Pro Max again was the faster one. Getting into some gameplay here. Let's go and see what's going on. And I think they're about the same thing. Hopping out of here. Let's get into Thank You. 3, 2, 1. There we go, 13 Pro Max again is the faster one. 10s Max a little bit behind. Getting out of here, let's get into stack. 3, 2, 1. And 13 Pro Max again is the faster one. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And I think the 13 Pro Max is definitely going to be the faster one here. And as you can see, definitely was the faster one without a doubt. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into Facebook. 3, 2, 1. Definitely faster on the 13 Pro Max. That was like instantaneous. Twitter, 3, 2, 1. Definitely faster on the 13 Pro Max as well. Let's get into Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And I mean, it's quite obvious the 13 Pro Max is consistently the faster one time after time compared to the iPhone XS Max, which is a really good thing to see. I love seeing this type of stuff, and I just get, so happy whenever there's these big of differences between the apps. Bofa, 3, 2, 1. There we go again. I'm pretty sure the 13 Pro Max was the faster one, so you're definitely getting a faster phone on the 13 Pro Max. This is without a doubt. You're definitely also going to be getting better RAM management on this phone as well. Even though some of these apps are pretty much the same thing, you're just going to be getting a better performing phone from the iPhone 13 Pro Max without a doubt. So definitely, if you're looking from a speed, aspect, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is definitely the faster phone for you between this and the XS Max. Now let's go and quickly hit on the cameras. Now on the back, we do have a triple camera setup on the 13 Pro Max, a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lens. With the iPhone XS Max, we just have a wide-angle lens and a telephoto lens as well. Now on the camera setup standpoint, like I said, it's quite obvious you're definitely going to be getting a better camera setup on the 13 Pro Max. You have the same video resolutions you can film in on the back, but on the front, you have 1080p at 60 on the XS Max. With the iPhone 13 Pro Max, you do have 4K at 60, so definitely a better camera setup on the iPhone 13 Pro Max for sure. Now, video camera features, you do have pretty much the same thing, portrait mode, photo, video mode, but you do have this cinematic mode on the 13 Pro Max, which is actually really cool. I just filmed a video on it for the iPad mini 6 thing, and that was actually really cool. I actually did enjoy that. It was pretty cool. When you do take it into Final Cut Pro, it's a little different. I don't really like it, but this is a very cool feature without a doubt, and I do think it is a worthwhile upgrade. Now with the XS Max, this is a pretty decent camera still. I don't think it's going to be breaking any records anytime soon, but you do have that telephoto lens. You don't have that ultra-wide sensor, which is my favorite camera lens without a doubt. I like having an ultra-wide sensor. You don't have it here. This was kind of a sad thing, but you did get in the next generation. With this specific camera, though, I still think it's good. 4K at 60 on the back, only 1080p at 60 on the front, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Now with the 13 Pro Max, like I mentioned, you're definitely getting a really good sensor, but you're also getting that ultra-wide sensor, which is really cool. And I like having that type of capability of just being able to go and just use that really nice ultra-wide sensor and zooming in and using that telephoto lens as well. This is a crazy good camera sensor, and you have 4K 60 on the front, and you also have cinematic mode as well, which is another really cool feature. So I will do a full camera comparison between these two, but definitely when it comes down to it, the 13 Pro Max is a very solid camera sensor for sure, and I do think it's probably the best camera out, maybe behind the S21 Ultra. So now we come to the end of the video, and should you go and buy an iPhone 13 Pro Max if you have an iPhone XS Max, like which one you should buy? Now, I think you probably shouldn't buy the XS Max anymore. I think you should, at the minimum, buy an 11 Pro Max or just buy an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. The XS Max is a great phone. It has a lot of capability, but the battery life was one of the things that I really didn't like about it. And with the iPhone 13 Pro Max, it really fixes it. It is a much more advanced, feature-full iPhone XS Max, which is great. And, this is without a doubt, I would highly recommend if you have an iPhone XS Max to go and upgrade to a 13 Pro Max. This is a solid phone. You have Pro Motion. You have a much better display, in my opinion. You're getting a smaller notch, which really doesn't do anything. You're getting heavier phone, better feeling phone too, better battery life on the 13 Pro Max, a much faster phone, maybe not like extremely faster, but a decently good performance upgrade from the XS Max, more RAM on this phone, and a much longer lifespan on this phone as well. I have a feeling the 13 Pro Max is almost going to be like an iPhone 10. You buy this phone today, and it's going to still feel like you have a brand new phone even like 4 years later. And that mostly has to do with promotion, to be honest. So that's pretty much it. Like I mentioned, if you want to purchase both of these phones or any one of these, links are down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.